Welcome back to the TMC project, and today I'm going to talk about how I overcome mental hurdles to become more open-minded. Thanks for joining me. Billionaire Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater, one of the world's largest and best performing hedge funds, put out a book, Principles. And in that book he talks about how to be successful, what needs to be done daily. And in the book he talks about one specific chapter called open-mindedness and how it can be the one hurdle to you succeeding or failing. Ray talks about how good decisions aren't necessarily the ones that stroke your ego. What's really most important is that you're looking for the best decision and not just the one that you came up with. That is really where open-mindedness comes. It's very important to realize that your mind doesn't naturally take on ideas. We have a propensity for a fear of loss, so we can be very closed-minded to anything we don't understand, or we may even believe that the person we're talking to can't give us a qualified answer, and we're unable to hear the benefits of what it might be. This is a tragedy, and it can really set you back. Just because you're the most successful or just because you're the furthest ahead doesn't mean you have the best answer. The best answer is whichever gives the most output. Ray breaks it down into a couple of simple principles that I think will really help us see when we're being closed-minded, as well as help us open our mind up to new information so that way we can come to a better decision. These are some of the things that you want to look for to find out if you're being closed-minded. Ray Liotta says, closed-minded people don't want their ideas challenged. Open-minded people are not angry when someone disagrees. This is really powerful. I know when I've talked with people, in the middle of the conversation, all of a sudden it sounds like we're disagreeing. A lot of that has to do with how the subject matter is approached. If you find yourself disagreeing with someone, it's more likely that you guys are talking past each other, or perhaps not actually discussing the exact point. Pull back a little bit. Find out what's actually being discussed and allow your mind to open up to what's happening in the conversation, so that way small disagreements don't ruin the process of conversation so early on. Open people are more likely to make statements than ask questions, whereas open-minded people genuinely believe they could be wrong. This is powerful. It's a great barometer to just watch yourself and see what you're doing. If you find that you are making more statements than asking questions, you should stop and ask yourself, am I just giving answers to my own problem and not really exploring and opening up what the other person is saying and trying to communicate? It's very important to ask questions. It'll allow you to widen the subject and really find out what's going on and what information is trying to be conveyed. This next one I've gotten caught on a lot, and I'm actively trying to better myself and not do this. Ray says, closed-minded people focus more on being understood than understanding others, whereas open-minded people always feel compelled to see things through others' eyes. So often I feel as if I'm misconveying my message, and that is the reason I can't get someone to understand and move the idea forward. And I had never realized that this was a form of closed-mindedness. By only focusing on getting them to understand what I'm saying, there's no bandwidth left for me to really hear them, to see what they're hearing. If at no point in a conversation am I trying to find out, if at no point in time I try to see the conversation through their eyes, how could I possibly even show them my understanding? We're coming from two different points of view, and it's really important to always make sure that you're expressing empathy and really seeing that ideas and points, to make sure that you're not shutting them down before they get their real time to process. Ray says closed-mindedness is not something that we're always aware of. It's a chance to become self-aware. Very often you may think you're open-minded, and that's just not the case. However, over time you can really test this and grow. It's incredibly important to be open-minded. So many other people have thoughts that you could never have, and if you're given the opportunity to hear them, why wouldn't you listen? I think it's incredibly important for our personal growth to always hear outside opinions, what other people are observing, and take it all in openly. Process it, leave what you feel is useless, but remember, your goal is to come to the best decision, not your best decision. I really recommend Ray's book, Principles. It's 540 pages of just powerful advice and actionable steps that you could really take tomorrow. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Don't let closed-mindedness get in your way. Do whatever it takes to crack it open and become a better person. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.